Okay, well, the Pope has passed away. Let us pray for His Holiness in heaven. Now, I'm not sure about you, but this is some extremely strange timing. I mean, this is fucking biblical on what happened. The Pope passes away at the very end of Easter. How insane is that? That is like, you know, the man was sick and the man was ill for a long time, but you cannot deny the fact that the Pope passing away at the very end of Easter is an insane coincidence. Now, yeah, he was sick, but I mean, you could think of 365 days a year. I don't know. It's an insane story, and it's gripped the world, and everybody kind of just, you know, he was only pope for 12 years. Um, often they're very old. But them dying at the end of Easter is a very crazed sign. A sign that could mean many things. And if you believe in religion, such as me, I'm a Catholic who has a very troubled relationship with God, to say the absolute least, um, you really got to think. Is this a sign of the end of days? Is this a very uh, historical event, a crazy coincidence that just seemed to happen out of nowhere? It's, you have these other popes, and yes, they're older. They usually don't live long into their being the pope. But you really gotta wonder. The man gave his last mass shortly before he passed away. It's incredible when you consider the state of the world right now, all the turmoil, the wars, the deep seated unease in the world right now, and the Pope dies at the end of fucking Easter. It is an insane thing. So let's explore this for a sec. You know, yeah, I mean, you get things. I mean, yeah, his last tweet, one of his last tweets there, April 20th, Christ is risen. These words capture the entire meaning of our existence, for we are not made for death, but for life. Isn't that weird on Twitter? But yeah, I mean, you get things like the Pope on Twitter has been an insane thing. Now, people on the internet don't take anything seriously. They'll make light fun of any event. They'll completely they'll joke about it. Uh, they'll do all these things. They're saying things, making jokes about JD Vance. It's just a bizarre. Look at this. Some people are making the jokes on. People have no sanctity anymore. They have. There's no life they won't. Internet screwheads won't try and make fun of or a joke on. And it's a disturbing reality that we live in, that people can, make such light of it. It doesn't affect them, it doesn't bother them. They don't care. They'll joke about it. They'll make fun of JD Vance. They'll talk about the trans thing. There's no sanctity left in the world. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is the big thing. They're like, "Oh, JD Vance did it," and like stuff like that. It's just like there's no sanctity left in people. They will not. They'll make fun of any situation, any person. If you or I passed away tomorrow, the internet would joke about us. That's what you got to remember about people is that there's just no sanctity left in human beings, and the internet will, yeah, that's the thing is that um, there is no sanctity. Now let's let's think about the implications of this. Christ has risen. The Pope has died on the Easter Monday. It's insane. It's crazy to think about. What could that mean? Now, we think about the end times, a prophecy, this time period that, we're living in. Nuclear war, global famine, global chaos. I think the biggest one would be nuclear war. We're right at the cusp of huge world war and the Pope dies on Easter. What do you think that could mean? If you're a religious person in biblical terms, in terms of this, reality, this existence, how crazy is that just occurred? Now, the rapture, of course, end of time, end of days, the end of the world. It's insane. It's an insane thing. Now, this could be this thing, uh, Pope dies on Easter, the signal of the end times, the signal of the rapture, nuclear war, World War III. These are events that, if you're not religious, this is getting to the point where you're saying, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of fucking correlations here. It's insane. It's an insane thing, and you want to just push it out of your mind because it's scary to think about. But I mean, yeah, the Pope dying at the end of Easter is a. If you had any religious bone in your body, it would feel as if it's a meaning for something. It means something. There's something in that meaning if God would have such an event occur. The second coming of Jesus. Is it here? Are we at that phase when it happens? And all this prophecy, all this foreshadowing towards these events that are occurring. Look at the world events. Look at how you know our world is just descending into madness. The rapture, the end of times, those who rise up and those left behind to to you know deal with what's coming. The nuclear war, the fire of Satan all over the earth. Isn't it an insane correlation? And yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that you'll get is you will get people joking about it on Twitter. People take nothing seriously. They just don't care. And Pope Francis, was never deserving of these kinds of, tweets about memes. I've seen things like the Pope never got to play Oblivion remake and stuff like that. So I mean, the JD Vance one, you know, just think about it. Just think about the implications of the United States nuclear war, Pope meeting JD Vance, vice president. It all has a freaky correlation that I just makes me very fucking uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable with this tried and true fact of the Pope dying at the end of Easter. If you are religious, it has to mean something. If you are a person who believes in these prophecies, there's a sentiment from it. His body, maybe he's on biological terms, maybe he just, maybe he just, maybe he held out. Often they talk about people dying on their birthdays. Maybe the Pope just gave all his will to live to the end of his his mass. And everybody and people are trying to make it political, you know. It's so weird. It's just we live in such a strange universe. You know, and you get posts like this. It's just like people who are, you know, everything's silly, everything is, you know, nothing is sacred. They can act like utter knobs online, and 4,000 people like it, and you know, taking a shower and drinking a beer in the shower and talking about Kanye and the Pope dying. It's just it's a sign to me that human beings have reached a level of sin. And if you look at it from a religious perspective, humans have lost all their true sanctity anymore. There's no there's no goodness left in the world. There's just a divine evil of in humanity that is just like that. When you get memes about the Pope dying and people making fun of it, and you know, porn stars. I think that Mila Khalifa was that. Here, let's just see if we can. An absolutely despicable type of situation there. Messed. It's truly messed up. It's messed up. It's like it's got to be a sign of like the end times. It just has to be. Maybe we are living it. Maybe this happens tomorrow. Maybe this happens 6 months from now. Maybe this is a sign of apocalyptic prophecy that we have entered into the end of days, the end times, you know? Nuclear war, World War III, a cataclysmic event that is going to occur for humanity. If you had any religious bone in your body, you would be feeling this as well. And as a person who has a deeply disgruntled relationship with God, you have to wonder. I have to wonder in my own faith: is this a sign of the end of days? My gut tells me this is something big. If you're looking at things from an atheist perspective, yeah, sure. You're gonna post memes. You're gonna talk about, JD Vance, is some kind of did it or something, or posting memes about ha ha ha, like this is, and just not taking anything sacred. But if you're looking at it from a religious perspective, you're saying, Jesus Christ, this is a crazy correlation. The Pope literally died the day of Easter ends. Easter is, you know, it's Sunday, this Easter Sunday, it happened. Easter Monday, it's the end of Easter. It's a certain period of fucking time that is very significant for him to just out of 365 days, 24 hours a day, X amount of hours, at the very true end of it all, the Pope dies. Are you gonna are you gonna think that this could be a sign of prophecy of the end days? It's insane. And when we look at the rapture, about how it, what it talks about, we're into this very insane period of events. And there's all this is it's all like lining up to this time. And if I was a betting man, I would imagine that these two events that correlates: the rapture, the Pope passes away at the end of Easter, nuclear war, the end of days. Jesus. Jesus help us. But maybe that's the truth. The meek have inherited the earth. Jesus has arisen. The end times. It all lines up in a way that just doesn't sit well. Doesn't sit well with me. Jokes. Everybody is always joking. Memes. It's a very odd situation. Look at that unholiness. Look at that blasphemy. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. It's to me it's like the internet is never going to take something seriously. But for me as a person who believes in something that is so much bigger than humanity and me believing that truly human beings have become just so lost, and most people are just completely uh, so far gone. It's like it's a meaning of the end times, the end of days, the rapture is here. So buckle up, people, because if you are religious at all, this is not a good sign. This can't be a good sign. This cannot be a good sign. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Benedict resigned 2013. The first more to do than in 600 years. How many popes have died on Easter Sunday or Easter Monday, wherever it was at that time zone? But seriously, like that is a biblical coincidence, and that is absolutely insane. And people won't want to think about that because it could mean something. It could be either means nothing or it's a very, 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 very bad sign. 9 day mourning period. Maybe we're 9 days away from the rapture. Crazy. Absolutely crazy coincidence. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Could be a sign of the end of days.